Welcome back to another episode of the RPNcast, hosted by me, Tyreese Smith. Now, coming off a very exciting week of districts, especially very wild times in District 3, this episode will cover the update on the District 3 tournament, while also recognizing District 4 and District 6. A lot to cover, don't want to waste your time, so let's get into it. Now, before I go into my work week and focusing in on District 3, I want to give a shout out to some action that happened in District 4 and District 6. In District 4, the ladies from Loyalsock Township beat Lion Mountain 77-31 Friday. Lock Haven commit Lacey Kribel had a game high 20 points and 4 steals, while 2026 recruit 6'1" Elena Dazzy holds offers from Kutztown and Lock Haven in the PSAC, and some D1 interest starting to fly into. Finished with a stat line of 16 points, 5 boards, 8 steals, and 4 assists. The Lancers will face off with Tawanda next week in the District 4 3A semifinals. Congrats to Loyalsock. They've been having a very good year, and hopefully they can get back to contending in the state. And moving on to a higher classification out west. In District 6, the girls' title game, Altoona beat State College 41-37 for their third straight District 6 6A title on Friday as well. Standout freshman, in my belief, I don't know how many freshmen there are in state playing varsity basketball. This is probably the best one I've seen so far. Brianna Hudson led with 22 points and 8 rebounds. So you do the math, 41-22. She had pretty much had 19 of those points. So it's impressive. My math is probably off. 19 of the total team points. Yeah, seems about right. But regardless, though, Brianna grew up on Friday and has really been putting together a well-together freshman season. And I can babble on and on about that in a later episode, but especially this postseason, she really has come up and has grown up throughout the season. Away from Brianna Hudson, Chris Flegel, head coach, picked up his 100th coaching career win. Congrats to Flegel. Great guy, runs a great program, and is a real ball knower. And, I appreciate that. Additionally, Altoona won their 32nd district title in program history. Now, I don't know who leads District 6. I would assume Altoona, as a 32, carries a lot of weight. But congrats to the Mountain Lions for winning their 32nd district title, Chris Flegel on 100, and they now await their sub-regional opponent to figure out seeding within the 6A state tournament. Let's move on to District 3 that you guys are more familiar with. Now, taking a look at my work week last week, I wanted to focus in on the 5A part of District 3, both sides, boys and girls basketball. I understand around this time of year, 6A gets a lot of attention. It's the main headliner, bigger schools, more competition. I can understand that. I respect that. For me, I wanted to just do 5A. It wouldn't hurt to see what's down there now. I know some people have moved down, moved up, but, I know 5A. Let's just get into it. 3 games I went to last week. First round games, Lower Dolphin at Milton Hershey, 5A boys. Quarterfinals on the girls' side, 5A, Lower Dolphin at York Suburban. And then to end it off with the finale on Friday, not the finale, but the quarterfinals of my work week, Milton Hershey at Hershey, round 3. Taking a look at Lower Dolphin and Milton Hershey, it was pretty much Milton Hershey from the door. MHS came in as a 7 seed Laura Dolphin came in as a 10 seed, and Milton Hershey beat them twice in the regular season, but you can tell this time Milton Hershey just swept them. They were the better basketball team. They opened up the game in the first quarter, 23-7. Everything was going right for them. The bigs were getting involved. Khalif Turner got busy early. Ari had 2 trays. And even going throughout the game, Nico DeFrank kept the Falcons within it. He had 17 points by the end, but Milton Hershey's athleticism and them not making any boneheaded decisions, they took care of business to come out with a 71-53 win. Dylan Crawford and Khalif Turner both had 21 points. Milton Hershey would then move on to the quarterfinals to play at Hershey Friday night, rivalry game, hometown game. And Laura Dolphin moved on to the consolation bracket where they played New Oxford out the YA. Next up, Laura Dolphin at York Suburban. Next up, pretty interesting game, I would say. Suburban is the reigning District 3 5A champs. Came in number 1 as well. From this, their only losses during the season was West York, and them and West York division rivals, they split off. Red Lion at Hoops for Harmony and Central York in the first round of counties. So, they were only coming in with 3 losses, and Laura Dolphin, very high IQ team from seeing them, very respectable club. They didn't win out the Keystone. It was pretty much all Mechanicsburg, but they were still competitive throughout, coming in as a number 8 seed into the District 3 tournament. Throughout the game, it was pretty close throughout the first quarter. Only 9-8 at the end of the first. York Suburban expanded their lead more in the second quarter. Natalie Homicide and Jordan Williams were really getting involved. Jordan Williams, just pure scoring wise. Homicide was all over the place on defense and got some layups in between. Even Homicide, she's really gotten a lot better within basketball since seeing her a year ago, and now, in my eyes, it's more confident as she's now taking the ball up the court, scoring from end to end. Even in the half-court game, she's not just dribbling, stopping, and panicking a bit. She's more in control, even bruising through some girls, reverse layups. She's gained so much confidence within her skill set. I don't think that gets as talked about enough. We all kind of know her as a meme on social media. If you go see any of Cade Visual's videos, and there's a whole clip out about her hyping up the bench, being goofy on the court, sticking the tongue out. She's a character. But no, seeing her improvement within the past year alone, she's really grown confident as a basketball player, and even skill-wise has gotten a lot better too, from what she can handle. Always much more room for improvement, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, Regardless, getting back on topic, throughout the game, York Suburban pretty much had a lead throughout. It was still steady, they were only about 7 points, 10, and it would just go back down. Addie Misolek from Lower Dolphin was keeping the Falcons within the game. She ended up with 18 points, 7 rebounds. And even in the fourth quarter, Lower Dolphin was getting a lot of turnovers on Suburban, just not taking care of the ball. Janae Swartz was a key in that fourth quarter in trying to bring the Falcons back. But by the end, New York Suburban just hung on, free throws, and just being more, again, careful with the ball towards the end of the quarter. By the end of it, Suburban came out with a 41-33 win. Jordan Williams ended up with 16 points. Natalie Homicide ended with 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Misselec for the Falcons, 18.7 rebounds. Additionally, to note, Jess Weaver reached the 200 career win mark, and New York Suburban went on to the Final Four, where they will play no other than the West York Bulldogs, who are coming out number 4 in the District 3 5A semifinals. Now, to the game that I was most waiting for last week. Round 3 between Hershey and Milton Hershey, this time in the District 3 quarterfinals. The two times the teams have met this year. Hershey won the first one 68-58. The second time across the street at the Spartan Center, Milton Hershey won and an emphatic 65-62 win, sealed off by Dylan Crawford's game-ending dunk. So the season series was tied at 1-1. Third game was a tiebreaker. Who knows where people fall in states. But this one was for all the marbles. And it was loud. It sold out around 9 a.m.-ish. Hours and hours before the game even started. And the refs let them play. Very physical game. It was everything you want in the playoff environment of who wants it more, when the lights are on. But let's just talk about it. Throughout the first quarter, it was pretty even for a little bit, like first 2 minutes. But then Hershey eventually stretched it out. They led by the end of the first quarter, 15-7. James Campbell, a Case Western reserve commit on Case Western near Cleveland, Ohio area. He came off with 7 points, 2 threes, and a free throw. Took care of the rest of it. But now, MHS started waking up a bit as they went on a 16-7 second quarter run off production from Khalif Turner, Ari, and Kingston George to take their first lead of the game by quarter end at 23-22. The third quarter was mostly Milton Hershey's as well, as they eventually stretched their lead out to 40-30 as Khalif Turner again started to find more of his rhythm and attacking Hershey's defense. But Milton Hershey was also doing a very good job of containing Cam Sweeney and forcing everybody else to become offensive threats, which helped in this case. Mind you, MHS, I wouldn't say they punked, but I would say they had control of the game for 2/3 of it. But in the fourth quarter, I don't know about that one. A lot of errors. Off count, Milton Hershey turned the ball over 10 times. Aiden Miller at one point was picking the ball off like crazy. He might have been the best defensive back throughout the contest. And before you know it, Milton Hershey had a 40-30 lead, turned to a 42-39 lead with about a minute and a half left to go. Milton Hershey had to start burning some timeouts. Even Hershey burned a timeout throughout as well. And there were a lot of sequences, again, I didn't agree with, but it was just like no IQ or common sense whatsoever. Just being lazy and sloppy with the ball, forcing up stupid shots when it wasn't there, and even a take foul happening with like a minute or so to go when Milton Hershey was up 42-41 at one point, and it was a 3-3 foul count. It was an even foul count, In the PIAA, it hits 5 fouls and a team can shoot 2 free throws. But there was no need to take a foul there. And I think that possession eventually stalled out and gave Hershey the 3 ball with Drew Grana hitting a 3 from a Cam Sweeney assist at 18 seconds left. But again, who knows if that could have happened anyways, but a take foul and letting Hershey stall the ball around like that. Before you know it, Hershey was up 44-42 off Drew Grana's 3 with 18 seconds left. So, they called timeout. We're trying to regroup themselves. And Milton Hershey came back down on the other end. A shot missed off. Cam Sweeney got a board. And a controversial call I want to talk about as well is that after Milton Hershey missed a shot, a rebound happened, and Cam Sweeney had the ball, it was tough to see on the bottom part of the bleachers what transpired. But seeing it back on video, Cam Sweeney was dribbling up the court. James Campbell, slid in like he was about to set a screen. Abdul Dieng, who had 4 fouls at the time for Milton Hershey, ran into James and was called for the foul. Now, they could have let it go, or they could have called some offensive foul to give Milton Hershey the ball back, but it's a bit of a controversial call. I'll let y'all decide what transpired there, but regardless of that controversy, Milton Hershey gave up a 15-2 run to end the game, leading by 10 points, and Hershey won 45-42. James Campbell finished and led the Trojans with 13 points. Drew Grana had 10 points. Cam Sweeney had 7. And Aiden Miller recorded a game-high 9 steals. Majority of it coming from the fourth quarter. Hershey has recorded their 4th straight 20-win season and advanced to their 4th straight District 3 semifinals, and they'll meet up with number 3 West York on Tuesday for a trip back to the Giants Center on the lawn. This game right here, I felt like it taught me a lot about both teams. Hershey, again, they came off 2 losses in the end of the regular season against Milton Hershey, then losing to a Palmyra team I think they're miles better than. But this game taught me a lot about both teams, with how Hershey is so very resilient to the core. Paul Blackburn runs a very, very, not controlled, but he runs a very good foundation at Hershey, a winning culture. Wins are something, but with what they install into their kids and setting a standard and running on tradition, even my battles with Hershey back in the day, they were always one of the toughest teams to go against, as, again, they play really smart, they make winning plays, but Blackburn has always done a very great job at Hershey. Even Milton Hershey, they are a whole lot better than last year, but I didn't know if they were going to be prepared for a moment like this, when it really counts, Playing very maturely, not doing anything stupid. You can't do that against teams like Hershey, especially around this time of year where they've been here before, And the lesson was learned, but it is what it is. But now Milton Hershey will move to the consolation against Lampeter Stroudsburg in hopes of getting back to the state tournament, which they haven't seen in a couple of years. That was my work week, pretty much. 3 very good games. The last one, Milton Hershey, I think I've enjoyed the most, off just the adrenaline and just staying sharp as so much was going on throughout the game. But let's move on to some updates that happened within the District 3 tournament through the first round and the quarterfinals. So I will go through the 4A through 6A brackets. The 3A bracket is already predictable enough, as both Trinity teams are in the district finals. I will be there on Wednesday to watch from the bleachers, general admissions. when they play Lancaster Mennonite. But I want to focus more on the 4A through 6A brackets, which are compelled more teams and the stuff y'all actually want to hear. So let's get into it. Within the 4A girls bracket, Eastern York beat Kennerdale 8 beat a 9 seed 47-45 in the first round. On the other side of the bracket, number 7 Berks Catholic beat number 10 Bishop McDevitt 58-49 as both Eastern and Berks Catholic moved on. Within the quarterfinals, number 1 Lancaster Catholic beat Eastern York 33-17. DeLone Catholic, number 4, beat number 5 Boiling Springs 59-37. Flip to the other side. Number 2 Northern Lebanon beat Berks Catholic 36-33. Northern Lebanon continuing to shock everybody. And number 3 Wild Missing beat number 6 Susquehanna Township 49-31. The semifinals, you have Lancaster Catholic versus DeLone and Northern Lebanon versus Wild Missing. Yep, so looking at trying to see this through. Looking at the Final Four, Lancaster Catholic and DeLone, I feel like that could be a toss-up this year between both teams. Northern Lebanon and Wild Missing could get interesting as 2 and 3. It wouldn't be an upset even if Wild Missing does beat them, as again they are the 2-time reigning District 3 champions. But I don't know. That can get pretty interesting, I would say. No real predictions, but I hope all 4 teams have a very great, exciting 2 games between the 4. So yeah, that's just a little bit of an update on the 4A girls bracket as of right now. Looking at the 4A boys bracket, only consisting of 8 teams, which is different from the 10 teams in the 4A girls side. But looking at the quarterfinals, Berks Catholic, number 1, beat number 8 Bishop McDevitt 51-32. McDevitt's season keeps on, Number 4 Wild Missing and number 5 Susquehanna Township. I had this game on the money. I was right. The Hannah beat Wild Missing 65-60. On the other side of the bracket, number 2 Eastern York beat number 7 Boiling Springs 48-45. Number 3 Big Spring beat number 6, hopefully I'm Bosch's, Schuylkill Valley 70-44. These semifinals matchups, I like both of these matchups personally. Susquehanna will get a shot to see what they can do against Kingston McCoy and the Saints. That's going to be a game of athletes, in my opinion, looking at it. But if Susquehanna pulls that off, that would be insane. But that should be a good game down in Reading Monday. The other side, rematch of last year's district title game between Eastern York and Big Spring. Carter Wemsley is going to Gannon versus Aiden Sally in a one-on-one matchup. I hope they do guard each other. But this could get interesting. I believe it can go to any team. But, Eastern York has proved that they can win around this time of year. Last year could have been some luck for Big Spring. But, if Landon, Sally, Aiden's younger brother, and Aiden both get hot, and everyone else is just playing with energy and doing all the little stuff to win, I think they might have a chance. I'm not counting it out. I'm more of a person where it's like, let's just get the game going to see how it goes. Enough rap, But I like the semifinals matchups. Real creative, especially with Berks and Susquehanna taking care of their jobs, and then you get the rematch with Eastern New York and Big Spring. But winner will play next Thursday at the Giant Center around 4:30. So we'll see how that goes. But that's just the 4A boys bracket as of right now. As the unofficial Prince of 5A, let's roll into the 5A brackets to give an update. In the first round, 12 out of 14 teams competed to move on. Number 8, Lower Dolphin beat number 9, Twin Valley, 49-36. Number 4, West York beat number 13, Palmyra, 62-51. Number 5, Susquehannock beat number 12, Lampeter Stroudsburg, 30-25. Let's move on to the other side of the bracket. Number 7, Conrad and Weiser beat number 10, Elko, 42-39. Number 3, Northern York, Northern, let me not be corporate, beat number 14, MHS, 43-32. Then number 6, Mannheim Central beat number 11, Cocalico, 32-25. Let's reset onto the quarterfinals. York Suburban, reigning District 3 champs, beat Lower Dolphin 41-33. 33, I had my books, and it was on their scoreboard by the end. Looking at stats, I don't know why it was off, but regardless, they beat Lower Dolphin. West York beat Susquehannock 49-36. Middletown, who came in at number 2, beat Conrad Weiser 47-32. And I don't believe this was an upset. I kind of seen Mannheim being my team that surprises everybody with how much they've grown within the past season, but Mannheim Central beat Northern 36-34 to prevent the Polar Bears from getting back to a third semifinals game. Looking at these semifinals matchups, I love both matchups. I could have seen this coming too. No cap, whatever. But you get Suburban and West York for a round 3 in this season, but also a rematch of last year's District 3 semifinals game where Suburban beat West York 37-34. But both teams lose a senior that contributed. West York had Faith Walker, who's now at Duquesne. Janae Rissmiller was at York Suburban last year, who's now at SVC. But both these teams, they know each other pretty much. They go at it in the division every single year. They can replicate each other's play styles at times, but it should be a good one, in my opinion. Suburban's trying to get back to the Giant Center, even losing Lydia Powers right at the end of December, leading into the new year. While West York has some gunslingers on their team. This can get pretty interesting, though. Suburban definitely has more of the height advantage in this one. But, they're going to have to take care of business, especially within their backcourt, as backcourts matter around this time of year. Jordan Williams is going to have to be on one. They can't force to make any stupid plays, especially from their youth. They got to take care of the ball, whether it's passing or not playing hero ball. Sometimes I see clear tunnel vision within Suburban's team. But, as long as they play as a team, stick to holding opponents under 32 points, and collectively, again, play as a unit, I think they can get out this one. West York will have to work a lot harder against Suburban's height. and overall defensive presence. As you know, they switch up a lot from man-to-man to zone. But, you know, I can see an even game here. No real prediction, but, you know, I'm not one of rematches. I like when people are new and trying to figure out how each team rolls, but both are very deserving of being here, and I wish the best of luck to both programs. Now, on the other side of the bracket, you have Middletown and Manheim Central. I believe Middletown has an advantage here, solely off of Jayla, Emma, Destiny, and what they've been able to do within those three this year. But you never know what Manheim Central can have up their sleeves, right? The Barons, they just knocked off Northern, so that already deletes that problem for Middletown to see them a third time. But this game can get pretty interesting, so we'll see what goes on about that too. But I don't know, if we see a Suburban and Middletown matchup in the Giant Center, which I had originally in my predictions, I can envision that, you know. We'll see though. Nonetheless, good luck to those 4 teams as they move on. Hopefully get to the Giant Center and good placement in the States. But that's a little bit of an update on the 5A girls bracket as of right now. Now, moving on to the 5A boys bracket. All 16 teams in the bracket played in the first round last Tuesday. Major upset alert to even kick things off. Number 16, Spring Grove, beat number 1, Manheim Central, 45-38. Criticisms I have for Manheim Central: I believe that was the fakest 1 seed I've seen in my lifetime of districts, dating back to to forever ago. But, you know, the LL was not good this year by any means, and I'm getting a 1 seed. I felt went back on Hershey losing to Palmyra at the end of the season, because I thought Hershey would have been way more deserving of a 1 seed. But, you know, you can't lose 3 games, and Central got by with only 2 losses, but backfired, and Spring Grove went on to the quarterfinals while Manheim was dropped into the consolation so early. I wonder if that's ever happened before, from 1 seed losing in the first round of anything in District 3. It probably did, but yeah, no, that's embarrassing. Regardless, move on. Exeter, number 9 Exeter Township beat number 9 Middletown 60-53 in overtime. Number 4 York Suburban beat number 13 Conrad Weiser, belt to ass, 77-48. Number 5 Octorara beat number 12 Cocalico 62-53. I believe that was another rematch, as they were in Section 2 of the LL. I'm pretty sure Octorara was in Section 2. Don't know. But flipping on to the other side of the bracket, Hershey, coming in at number 2, took care of number 15 New Oxford 64-46. Number 7 Milton Hershey, I was at the game, beat number 10 Lower Dolphin 71-53. Number 3 West York beat number 14 66-45 as the 3 ball was flying. And number 6 Lampeter Stroudsburg, Lampeter beat number 11 Northern 84-33, which I can kind of see happening. Resetting, but going back into the quarterfinals this time. Exeter beat Spring Grove 58-50. York Suburban beat Octorara 61-46. The other side of the bracket, Hershey beat Milton Hershey 45-42. And West York beat Lampeter Stroudsburg in a close one, 71-67. Looking at the semifinals matchups, Exeter, York Suburban should be a good one. Imagine if York Suburban beats Exeter and the girls take care of business as well. You could see a double, well, not a double header. They fall on different days. I forgot about that. Yeah, but mind you, you get both of your programs in the Giant Center back-to-back days. You know, that's going to be crazy on Ron's part to schedule student buses back-to-back days and to get transportation, all of that to go. But he's a great AD at Suburban, and I really respect the work that he does. So he'll have this all planned out. But Hershey and West York could get pretty interesting too. Two scrappy teams. This can go either way, but Hershey got some brawlers, bro. Like those kids fight, and they compete hard. And I'm not saying they're advantaged here, but again, a home game on Tuesday. They did this last year against Warwick, but it can get pretty interesting. Who knows? Besides that, you know, best of luck to both of the four teams who are hoping to get to the Giant Center next Friday at 6 o'clock. But those should be two good games as well. Taking a look at the bigger brackets now within the 6A classification. The girls' bracket, all 16 teams played in the first round last Monday. The tournament was originally 12. They expanded to 16. Don't know why, but you know, we're in a participation era. Let's just let everybody in, right? Regardless, though, here's how it went down. Number 1, Red Lion, a much improved ball club this year, beat number 16 Southwestern 50-29. Number 8, Central York, Olivia McCaskill's back, beat Ephrata 40-24 at the crib. Mechanicsburg came in at number 4, beat number 13 Reading 44-37. Was pretty at even with that game in terms of who would have won, as Reading came off from beating Wyomissing, who could possibly win another district championship. They upset them in their county championships, and you don't know how it went for Mechanicsburg coming off that Altoona loss, but they regrouped themselves. Elena Sweet had a game 44-37 win to move on. And then number 5, Central Dauphin, took care of number 12, Governor Mifflin, 74-43 to get back on track. On the other side of the bracket, number 2, Dallastown, who's in high contendership this year, beat number 15, Cedar Cliff 41-26. Number 7, Wilson, beat number 10, Cedar Crest 48-39. Cedar Crest didn't move me at all this year, considering they lost to like smaller schools, and yeah, they didn't really have a consistent scorer, so yeah. Number 3, Lebanon, who is also a high contender as well, beat up on number 14, Cumberland Valley 60-40 to send the Eagles home. Wolf needs to retire. It's getting old at this point. I'm not meaning it, you know, whatever, but they need a reset badly. I have stories on stories, but they're doing no service in having Wolf still be a head coach. Legacy, be mad at me all you want to, but it's the truth. He's not the same coach he used to be, and it's not benefiting any of those girls. So that's for another day. Then the last game, number 6, Manheim Township beat number 11, Penn Manor 49-25. Into the quarterfinals, Red Lion beat Central York 42-33. Olivia McCaskill went out with an injury midway through the game, which could have affected CY, but Red Lion, they run a very tight ship, very scrappy team. They beat CY for a third time this season, 42-33 to move on. CD beat Mechanicsburg 47-40. Believe Mech was up 22-7 at one point and completely gave that lead away. Not surprised. they played a real opponent. Dallas Town beat Wilson 40-29. And Lebanon beat Manheim Township 52-36. I think Manheim was also the team that lost to Lebanon in the LL Championship, but they ran it back and Lebanon proved that they were the better team. Looking at the semifinals matchups, this is, it's cinema. It really is a movie. But Red Line getting Central Dauphin could be interesting. You know, CD has the height advantage in this one. Red Line has a better backcourt, in my opinion. Red Line has faced some taller teams this season and have done well. And sometimes it kind of proves where, you know, if they can't bang around down low and refs call everything, then, you know, it is what it is. But it'll be a test for both teams. Red Line to see if they are a legit team this year and, you know, just won't be up on teams in the county. And for CD to prove that they still got it, you know, CD has been a team who can get to a district championship game. They can compete. They are also the reigning District 3 6A champs, to say out loud, but I wouldn't go against Gambalungi around this time of year. I just wouldn't, right? It can get interesting, but should be a pretty good game. And then on the other side, Dallas Town and Lebanon. Now, the last couple of years, Dallas Town has had Lebanon's number. Let's be real. Lebanon, of course, they have Kyla, Liliana. But if Liliana's on Praise Matthews the whole time, that might not go that well. But it's really all up to if Lebanon can play as a unit in this game and not be challenged, and then Kyla goes 1-on-5 with everybody, right? You know, team play around this time of year helps you survive in advance. If Lebanon can play as a unit and match Dallas Town's athleticism and overall be 2 steps ahead in this game, I think they could win it. But with the way Dallas Town has been moving this season and going through Division 1, winning a 3rd straight county championship, I can also see Dallas Town getting back to the Giant Center. I'll leave it open to the public and for y'all to decide when it's game time or when the final results roll in. But it can go either way in this one as well. But both Final Four matchups look good to me. I could have seen this coming as well. But yeah, best of luck to those teams in the 6A girls bracket. And let's move on to the more bracket that has seemed to shook everybody up in District 3. Had to sip my drink before I describe out the 6A boys bracket, but yeah, I knew this was going to be chaos, the right kind of chaos, but a lot of things happened on Friday night. But let's thoroughly describe out scorers and how things came to be. So all 16 teams played in the first round. It was 12 before 16. I don't have to explain that again. But number 1, Central York beat up on number 16, Penn Manor, 79-37. Number 8, Red Lion against number 9, York High. Multiple times in the season. But York High came out on top, 75-67 in overtime. Number 4, Chambersburg continued to own number 13, Carlisle, 66-46. Schreffler, J.J. Kelly, Colton Cornwell, Landon getting things done down there in Franklin County. Number 5, Wilson beat number 12, Cedar Crest, 50-41. On the other side of the bracket, number 2, Mechanicsburg beat number 15, Conestoga Valley, 63-46. I don't think this was an upset, seeing Governor Mifflin That team has gotten a lot better, but Governor Mifflin, who came in at number 10, beat number 7 Warwick 58-53. Warwick's first time back in 6A from the last 2 seasons of being 5A. Moving down, number 3 Cumberland Valley took care of number 14 Ephrata 61-48. And number 6 CD beat number 11 Muhlenberg 69-61. Let's get a little bit deeper into the bracket. The 4th time they've met this year. Same chapter, repetitive, but CY beat York High 81-58. Chambersburg beat Wilson. They met earlier in the season, but Chambersburg came out on top 41-39. Moving down, an upset in terms of seeding, but the better team showed that night as Governor Mifflin beat Mechanicsburg 42-38. Watching that game back, there were some parts of it of I felt like Governor Mifflin's athleticism was a bit too much for Mech. Josh Smith also fouled out with minutes to go in the game, and my opinion, I think Mech went too much with hero ball, which they've done, throughout the season at times, and Governor Mifflin was just more prepared for it. But Governor Mifflin 48-38. But then the game of the night, everybody telling me, "Oh, bro, you should have been there, blah blah blah, ha ha ha," Like, everybody was texting me about this when the game was happening. I think I got like 6 or 7 texts about like, yo, bro, like, bro, drive, yo, head to, CV real quick, da 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 da. But I was all the way in Chocolate Town. But CD finally got theirs against CV 78-74. A game of runs. It was pretty much going back and forth, but Wayne hit a floater to send the game into overtime. And a lot of posters, a lot of deserving buckets, I would say. More so, great defense, better offense in a way. But CD finally got theirs against CV 78-74, proved people wrong, and they moved on to the semifinals, preventing CV from getting back to a 3rd district title game and potentially their 2nd district championship. Looking at the semifinals, CY and Chambersburg should be a good one. I don't think Chambersburg has played a caliber team like this in CY all season in terms of athleticism to match JJ Kelly, but also what Jeff Hoke has been doing at CY and knowing the pieces they have with Ben Natal, Ben Rill, Brian Pickney, RB. It's going to challenge Chambersburg, but I feel like it will still be a good game nonetheless. You never know what could happen. CY Red Line last year, everyone thought CY was going to win. Red Line pulled it off. Chambersburg could be in the same situation here. You never know. I honestly thought this could have been the semifinals last year too if CY would have took care of business against the Lions, but we finally get that this year, especially with Natal and JJ Kelly in peak form within their high school careers. So it should be a good one. But on the other side, Governor Mifflin and Central Dauphin. I like this one. 2 teams everyone thought wasn't going to get to this point. I know a lot of people wanted to see a CV versus Met game round 2, but looking at both of those scores, no, the teams who wanted it more executed and made more winning plays down the stretch when it mattered, they advanced. And now we see number 6 versus number 10. But at this point, seeds, they don't matter. It's February madness, I would say. But I think this could go either way. Let's see what Governor Mifflin's about, and let's see if CD can keep pushing and going on their momentum. But that should be a good one as well. And I know Warwick slipped past CD a couple of years ago in the semifinals, so let's see if CD also remembers that and they know better now with what they got to do, no matter how different their team is. Right? So that should be interesting for the 6A boys, but a lot of great semifinals games coming up. Shout out to all the teams who've made it this far. Additionally, shout out to the teams who are trying to get into states in the consolation. Can't forget about them, even though let's focus on the breadwinners at this point. But best of luck to all teams moving forward. And yeah, states are coming up soon, so let's buckle up. Thank you guys for all your support. The last episode did pretty well, was the most popular and highest rating episode I ever did. I know sometimes I just can babble and just go. I love the game of basketball, but I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and continuing to support me. To keep up on all things RPNcast, episodes will be available on YouTube and Spotify. To follow the RPN Factory and all the work that I do, Instagram at my RPN Life, Twitter at Reese John, Reese JAWN, and always check in on my site as I'll be dropping some things in the next couple of weeks, just trying to get through basketball season real quick. But thank you guys. Best of luck to anybody who are competing for a district championship and getting into the state tournament, as it's not easy. A lot of teams would love to be in your position, but just be grateful for what's happening right now and hoop, bro. Now's the time to really hoop. Let things go, So, appreciate you guys. Shout out to the teams still competing, and I will see you guys next week.